Hello and welcome to episode 32 of the GuildMag Podcast. Aaron is back this week. He's over there, not the other place. Say hi, Aaron.
Hi.
So
I am in fact back.
You are.
You're back.
I'm back with better internet, so I get to host the streams again, and nothing's going to go wrong anymore. That was a really smooth intro, much better than Sandra's done in the past few weeks.
Shush.
Oh man. Right
I know.
out of the gate.
I know, really. I'll just go right now, shall I?
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
So yeah, we've got a lot to talk about once again this week. We've all been playing the heck out of Heart of Thorns for last week. So tons of stuff to cover. You guys have moved in America back to Pacific,
Standard time.
Yeah, standard time. So if you are in America, we are now at 12 p.m. Pacific time.
Yep.
Still 8 p.m. UK time, GMT. A quick announcement before we begin. We didn't do a Halloween stream as promised. We didn't forget, we just couldn't really organise it in time. So maybe next year we'll do one instead.
We put out a sick Halloween video though.
Yeah, we did. If you go to youtube.com/guildmag, one of our editors, Clayton, did put together a Halloween hype video, which we were going to do at the start of the stream, but
it's really cool.
It is. Go and check it out. So yes, this week we are going to be talking about a lot of stuff to do with masteries and Auric Basin and Heart of Thorns. We're going to see what Aaron's been doing since we didn't get to chat to him last week. So hopefully you've been doing some cool stuff. And we're just going to take comments from you guys, find out what you guys have been doing, and just be a bit of a chill show, really. So before we begin, as always, we're going to kick off with the Gemstore news. So, Lunatic Guard outfit, Ghoul backpacks, Mad King's die, all Halloween stuff, because it was Halloween yesterday, was it? Yeah. So all that cool stuff in the Gemstore, and the Lunatic Guard outfit does look quite cool, actually. I quite like it. Surprisingly, even on a char, I don't mind that particular outfit.
It's got a flaming head.
Yeah, it does. It's really cool. I like it.
It's definitely a really cool outfit. I haven't picked it up yet because I don't really know what I want to do with it, but I think I'll probably just pick it up just to have it because I think at some point I'll figure out a situation I want to wear it in.
Yeah, definitely. The Ghoul backpack as well, I think looks quite cool. You also get didn't you get a mini with that as well or something? There's two parts to it. And I can't remember what the second thing is. I think it might be...
I'm not super up to scratch on the Halloween stuff. I
just remember seeing the backpack and just being the top of it stuck to your back and legs running alongside.
Yeah. I think it's the legs. I think you get like a legs mini, and then like the bottom half is a mini, the top half is attached to your back. I think that's
a bit creepy. I mean, I know it's Halloween and everything, but voila.
It's Halloween. That's what they were going for.
Yeah.
They're probably working as intended, as Colin would say.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we've also got Mad King's die. Has that got new dies in it? The Mad King's die.
Yes. It's got a couple of new shades. I haven't seen them yet because I haven't bought one.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, they always say the shades are new, but they all run together for me. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, they kind of just some of them are very similar.
I picked up, I needed a re-dye earlier this week, and I needed a yellow, like a yellowish gold. And I just picked up the cheapest Black Lion yellow dye because they all look the same. Is that racist against dyes?
No, I mean I do
Colors?
See what you mean. I think
Shadist.
I'm a kind of
shadist.
I'm a dye purist. If they all look the same, I have to have the most expensive one just because I have to say I've got the expensive one. So I'm really bad for that. It's like if I want something dyed white, I had to get Celestial because white dye wouldn't cut it.
Do you have Shadow Abyss?
I don't think I do actually.
I don't either. I haven't gotten it yet.
I'm slacking in that department.
I want to get it.
Yeah.
It does look cool. It's a slightly different than regular Abyss, but it kind of reminds me also of Midnight Fire.
It dies darker on leather armor than normal Abyss does.
Okay. She'll have to check it out.
On a lot of leather armors, Abyss comes out dark blue or dark gray. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the light armor Abyss, I was checking Abyss out just the other day, and it was coming out like a dark gray. It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
So,
so in the gem store as well, something that Sandra's been waffling on at me about this last week is the white and black wings and glider combo pack for 700 gems each. Why you'd pay that much for those travesties, I don't know, but
because they're wings of angels, they're good.
She deliberately made me jump off somewhere just so you could show me those wings.
I know, and you didn't see the ones that I had the black ones on yesterday, and I didn't comment.
Well,
Oh no,
I didn't want to make you sad.
I'm pretty happy with my pre-purchase glider skin.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
one as well. We were talking about that last week actually. I think it's the nicest so far.
It's like,
Yeah.
and I'll start fiddling with all the different glider skins once I finish actually doing things
Yeah.
that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm good with the Heart of Thorns pre-purchase one. I'm not a big fan of the wings, though. I won't lie.
It's all right.
Do you know because I know you can convert the black and white angel wings to a glider
Yes.
skin. Do you know if you can do it with the holographic dragon wings?
I do not know.
Because those actually flap.
Oh my god.
They do flap, and Rowan, you're gonna have to go and try it because I know those are the ones that you're wearing.
Yes, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I wear them on my
I
neck.
don't
Bro.
think you can, but maybe
Oh,
in the
Rowan?
future.
Rowan wears the ugly ones though.
Yeah. Shush. I actually prefer the shattered ones to the non-shattered ones.
You wear the ones that look like they've got arthritis when they're flapping.
What?
Or anemic.
No. That's not.
We've got like this jerky animation that it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't like.
I don't know.
The normal ones they're all smooth and fluttery.
Yeah, but they're just boring.
I love them. They're the
Oh.
best.
Yeah, to disagree. So in game news, then, they have nerfed. Despite me talking about it last week in true ArenaNet style, they've gone against my opinion and nerfed the hero points required to unlock an elite spec from 400 down to 250. So we had a big kind of discussion about this last week. So if you didn't catch last week's podcast, go back and watch it, listen to how wrong I apparently was, and then come back and forget about it because I'm always right.
No.
Oh, no, not in this case. So also issues with mega server population being addressed, and the issues with some adventures being down for a fair amount of time, especially during like night events in Verdant Brink, and just generally not being as available as people would like. So they're looking at that. I do know that all adventures in Verdant Brink will still be disabled during the night time, but I think during the daytime the idea is that they'll be up more.
I think the reason people are so annoyed that the adventures go offline is because they're really, really, really good for farming XP. Because they're really short, and if you earn gold, you can earn like 50,000 XP or something from one. And so some of them are as short as like 2 minutes, and you can do them, as far as I'm aware, over as many times as you want.
You know what, I did not know that. I'm going to be honest, I haven't even touched an adventure yet.
Me
I've
neither.
been
I haven't
so
done a
busy.
single one either.
I've been so
but-
busy with everything else.
Yeah, they're apparently excellent for XP.
Well then, I shall have to try.
Might have to try them.
Yeah. So that's all the news. So we're going to dive straight into this week's episode. And first and foremost, Aaron, what have you been doing in Heart of Thorns for the past 2 weeks?
I've been desperately trying to actually play. I've had a lot of real life stuff that just happened to coincide with Heart of Thorns launch, which was kind of a bummer. But I haven't even finished the story yet. I'm like level 5 mastery. It's pretty pathetic. And I just finished story step 9. So I'm not super far along.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as well. I'm not much further than you actually. I'm like mastery level. What am I? 7?
I think
Eight?
one of my guildies said
Seven
you
or
can.
eight.
One of my guildies finished the story with mastery level 6.
Oh.
So you
Really?
should be good to get you through if you've leveled the right ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
That's interesting.
I'm the same. I only really get to play at weekends, so I've only been playing technically for like 4 days out of the last, 2 weeks.
See, I get to play weekdays, and then my weekends I'm away, so I don't get to play weekends except for Sunday afternoon.
One of the things that I noticed yesterday, it happened to me twice. Like I would level up a mastery, and it would level me up 2 levels instead of 1, and it happened to me twice.
Yeah, well, it's because so you get your mastery level 1 in like 3 things, right? So that's your level 3 mastery because you've got the first tier. But then when you hit level 2 mastery, you get 2 points added onto your mastery title because you got to level 2. So when you get to level 3, you'll get 3 points added on. And that's how it works as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
So that's why when you see people with like 70 mastery points or 70 mastery rank, it's not because they leveled, their mastery bar 70 times. It's because the numbers add up that way.
Okay. I was going, surely this can't be right.
Yeah, it surprised me too. And then I realized that must be just how it works. It's kind of weird, I think.
Yeah.
It's confusing, but it's...
Well, I mean, I was surprised that I went from 6 to 8 and then from 8 to 10. So I was like, is this a bug? Am I going to get,
I'll be honest, I was going to explain it to you, but I thought it was funnier not to and let you bring it up on the show.
Just freak out. Like, I think I found a
appreciate that.
Bug. We should contact ArenaNet about this.
Yeah.
No, I was going to tell you I genuinely forgot. I think we were in an event or something, and then I completely forgot. You said it like twice.
I said it once.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, I can't remember. I was collecting. We were doing the chests. That was it. We were under Terraria, and I was collecting all the chests, and I didn't have time to listen to you waffle on with no keys.
Whatever. Remind me never to play with you again. Then.
So, big news. Aaron's now officially famous, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are we going to talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So do you want to tell us what happened on your little adventure?
No.
Go on then, tell us.
Go on, you've got to break the news.
Is it the news I'm thinking you're talking about?
It's
you were recognized.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In the public eye domain.
Yeah. So I was on a bus and a guy was like, "I recognize you from Twitch. What's your Twitch handle?" And I was like, twitch.tv/GuildMag. And he was like, "Oh, yeah." And then he started talking to me about Twitch. Fun fact, this guy was super drunk. Like, this was at like 10:30 at night, and me and my girlfriend were going home from like a night out, and this dude was blasted. And he was like drunk talking to me about all the Twitch streamers he watched, and it was really annoying. But I appreciated him because he watches the podcast. So I like you.
Was that confirmed that he actually does watch the podcast, or is it just he thought he recognized you in reality he didn't? But
he was talking to me about the GuildMag podcast, so
okay.
Like
I think he does.
Details?
Yeah, I don't remember what his Twitch handle was, but if you're watching Drunk Bus Guy,
well, hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
So So yeah, so I've forgotten what I was going to say, and let's move on.
Alrighty then.
Wow, did you have a really good punchline that you just forgot?
Yeah, I wanted to mention
that's rough.
Last week to do with this, and it's completely gone.
This is what happens when you start hosting the show again.
Yeah, I know. So talking about the nerfing the hero points from 400 down to 250, we thought we'd kind of go back and talk about that a bit again, maybe adjust our opinions, that kind of thing. So the big question to put to you guys is 250 a better kind of middle ground than 400 was for unlocking the whole elite specialization? What do you guys think?
I am a big old shrug on it. I think 400 was fine. I think 250 is fine. They're both really big numbers, and they're both going to be tough to achieve. What initially I actually kind of flew off the handle because I immediately got the impression that ArenaNet had caved to basically pressure from whiners on Reddit, which is something I always hate seeing, and that sadly happens a lot in the gaming industry at large. And I tweeted about it, and Elizabeth Kirstein from the marketing team actually tweeted me back, and she said that ArenaNet genuinely agreed with a lot of the feedback, and they, in hindsight, really did think that it needed to be scaled back. So I don't know that this was an instance of entirely caving to pressure on ArenaNet's part. I think they took useful feedback and actually gave it serious thought.
Yeah.
I think when you compare it back to what core specialization costs to unlock, and I actually went into the wiki to find out because I didn't.
She's done her research.
I've done my research. It costs 60 hero points to unlock a core specialization, and that's just the traits. And each utility skill will cost about 2 to 5 hero points depending on the type. So 250 is probably. I mean, I was all for the 400, and I'm a big altholic, and I knew that. If I wanted to level them all and get elites for all of them, then that was my own fault, basically. So I was fine with the 400, but I think when you compare it to the cost for the cores, 250 does feel like a maybe better middle ground number, a more realistic number, I guess. It still keeps that whole elite feel.
I mean, that's kind of the issue I have with 250 now, because just through playing the maps, I've now got all the hero points I need to unlock Dragon Hunter on my Guardian. I'm like 260 or something now, 258, something like that. So it doesn't feel like I've actually earned the Dragon Hunter Elite spec for my Guardian, because I already had like two something. I can't remember what before Heart of Thorns.
Yeah, I think I had like 230 or something like that. I unlocked Dragon Hunter almost immediately.
But it's like at the same time, you can think of it as: do you do the grinding now, or did you do it before? You're getting rewarded for whatever you played through and did in the past, which is still. I think it's good that they've kind of retroactively credited you, if that makes any kind of sense.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. But I really didn't have when I initially logged in and I unlocked like half my elite spec with my 200 and some odd points I had. I honestly did not mind not having access to the rest of it. I was like, oh, I'll play, I'll get the hero points, it'll be fine. That being said, I'm not actually, like, in any of my characters, I'm not going to use any of the elite specializations, so it matters a lot less to me than it would for someone who wanted to get those elite specializations and play through the new content with the new skills.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for making my life easier in Guild Wars 2 if I can, but I don't know, maybe 300 I think for me would have been a better middle ground, I feel like, because for people who have got, say the 200 points on their main characters, you've still got to work for an extra 100 compared to, whereas now I've unlocked it without even really meaning to.
Right.
I mean, I suppose that will flip on its head for when I level like my Revenant and Reaper and stuff like that. I will have to actively go and get 250 points.
Yeah.
So we'll see. My opinion might change again and think, 250 is too much when I've come to do like 0 to 80 Necro into Reaper. But
yeah, I mean, I've been doing that with my Necros, just hunting hero points when I'm not out in the.
She said Necros plural. Just make it
Necro.
Yeah.
No, it was one Necro. Sorry, that was a stray S that wandered in there. But yeah, no, I'm.
It was an altaholic joke.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it. I got it. That's not what I meant. But yeah.
So Ajad in chat, sorry, doing
that's
names,
Anthony.
Says, I played one character, my Thief, a lot. It was nice to be able to get to Devil Knight instantly. So, I mean, I suppose it's nice to be able to have stuff quickly. The question we put last week was, is it, like, elite feeling enough to be able to unlock it that quickly?
Yeah, Black Lion Chest brings up a good point. One interesting thing that I saw is people running hero point trains in Heart of Thorns and Courtier. Yeah. That's kind of cool. I know that I went up into the canopy last night up in Verdant Brink, and there was a commander on, I forget which, I think it was the Wyvern, and afterwards he was like, okay, let's go do this next hero point, and we can go and do that one. So everyone just kind of glided away, which is kind of cool to see, just a little zerg of people.
Yeah, it's been great to see people asking, does anyone need this hero point, because they are like group challenges now, but it's not just something you can go and solo. Because I know you and I, I did the Balthazar one in Oryx Base, and then you kind of got a bit left behind wondering where it was, but
yeah, I haven't found it yet.
But it's nice to see people going, does anyone need it, waiting, and then forming like a little group. I think that's what Heart of Thorns has done really well. It's bring people together a bit more, which we're going to talk about in 5 minutes when we get through this next point, actually. So we'll come back to that point. So before we move on then, so talking about hero point challenges, they are removing some mastery requirements for hero point challenges. So Sandra, you kind of wrote this in, so do you want to talk us through what's going on a little bit there? Am I put you on the spot here and you're like...
Yeah, because I don't remember what I wrote. So they're removing some mastery requirements from... I think this had something to do with the poison from one of the masteries. I don't even know where because I haven't found it yet. So I've just been gleaning from the community. I don't know.
Are you talking about the one that's like it's a mastery point and it's surrounded by this like noxious ooze and you can't go in and claim it because you just die?
Yeah, and you need the poison mastery to.
So
they've moved. They've moved the NPCs. They flipped the locations basically.
Yeah, I ran into that one like day one, and I was like, oh, well, that was dumb.
Yeah.
It's so there was a post on Reddit, kind of talking through about this. I'll post it in Guild Chat, and it'll be in the show notes if you're not with us live. Kind of talking about. So they think that the poster Chari Karu, I'm so sorry about names. Talks about the nerf to the actual hero points required for elite specs was a good thing, but nerfing the actual challenge to get them isn't a good thing, which I agree with. I think Heart of Thorns' whole philosophy is difficult, challenging content, and I'm not against having to have, mastery requirements to be able to do some hero point challenges.
Or even some of the bosses. I ran into one boss up in the canopy last night, and you needed like stealthing from the New Hawk line.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, the guy would find you and basically snipe you, and it was like insta wipe, or for the entire group that didn't have it. So that's it gives you a reason if you want to fight these bosses to go in another reason, I guess, to continue leveling.
Yeah, I think something the mastery system for me has done really well. It's like, what's that? Things like RPG games where you can't do a specific thing right there. You have to level up something and then you have to come back to it later to do it. It's a lot like that for Heart of Thorns and Masteries for me, and it feels kind of rewarding. Like, it genuinely feels like progression when you can't do something completely and then you can come back later and you can do it because you feel more powerful with these masteries, that kind of thing. So I don't think nerfing the actual challenges themselves by removing kind of mastery requirements or just nerfing them in generally is something I can particularly get excited about, I guess.
Yeah, I think that I like the idea that they are continuing to try and just rethink their whole system and give us some meaningful challenges. And I'm the kind of player that I want to be challenged. I don't get to play a lot during the week, but that doesn't mean that I want to just, kind of coast. Even though plugging into Guild Wars 2 is a kind of unwind time for me, I still want to feel like there's some meaning there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So...
You want to feel like you're applying yourself to something that requires application.
Or something.
Rather than just jumping in and, coasting.
Pressing F as that poster, but it said just press F and, yeah.
Because that's
it's like the old, the world boss train, where you can just basically AFK hit one and you walk away and it's dead and you get your reward. And it's like, that's not challenging or meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah, like... For the last year, basically since the end of Season 2 of The Living World, I've been coasting. I just log in and do brain dead stuff that I enjoy, but it's still brain dead. And it's really refreshing to have these 4 truly challenging maps to play on and earn rewards on.
Yeah. So, that's a good segue then. So speaking of challenges in maps... let's move into Auric Basin and talk about the Battle in Tarim meta events. So this is something Sandra and I have been doing, I think, this weekend before dipping our toes into Tangled Depths, but we won't go there because we were both just overwhelmed by that map. But yeah, so the battle in Turret, we're talking about the bit where this is kind of the defend the whole city bit where the Mordrim are attacking. So, and it's a map event that until now, I mean, you could argue with Tecratl maybe, but you haven't really seen as much coordination needed to complete the meta event up until this point. So is this something you've done, Aaron?
I've unsuccessfully participated in the Trier meta a couple times. I haven't been on a map that successfully completed it yet.
We got one.
We've killed it once.
Nice.
And it was
you
fun.
know what? It would have been twice if we hadn't have both
Hadn't
had
disconnected.
a client crash. We both got the same client crash, and we couldn't disconnect to the same map. That probably would have been a kill.
Yeah.
Triple Trouble is worth a mention, actually. Thank you, Chris, in chat.
Yeah.
But
Triple Trouble was tough.
Yeah.
Still is.
It is, yeah. And I think... So the thing that makes, I think, the Battle in Tower meta difficult is the window you have to kill all the Octavines in one go. Because when one... So anyone who doesn't know, or maybe hasn't seen it before, is there are 4 gates to the city that you have to kill these giant Mordrim tentacly Octavines, they're called. And each different gate has essentially a different way to kill them. And some are easier. I think the East Gate is the easiest, if I recall off the top of my head. So, and when one dies, the whole map has 2 minutes to kill all of them. And if one's still up by the end of those 2 minutes, then
fail.
You haven't won, essentially. And after the 2 minutes, the Octavine will regenerate. You've got to go back and kill it again. And so it's something that requires a lot of map coordination between everyone, and it's been really refreshing actually to see so many people kind of. It almost feels like halfway between a pug and an organized group of people actually running it, because there's generally a fair few commanders and just people calling out the status that they're at, how things are doing, whether or not to hold DPS or not. And it's been really refreshing to see. And yeah, as I just said, you can almost see them learning from how well the Silver Waste Divine event worked, but trying to make it different.
I found it refreshing that each lane has a different mechanic. Which is kind of a throwback to the different platforms in Twisted Marionette, or even a bit of the Scarlet battles when Lion's Arch got nuked.
Yeah, with the 3 different giant watch knights that you had to take down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Silver Waste meta is definitely a forerunner to this, and that it's nowhere near as difficult. Like, it doesn't require nearly as much coordination. You can do the Silver Waste meta with virtually no map communication. Yeah. It's pretty face roll. But it's the same principles, and they put those principles into these maps, and their metas are really challenging and really rewarding if you build them up properly. Like the Verdant Brink meta, if you don't build up those security levels, you'll do and complete the night cycle, and your reward will be crap.
Yeah.
You really have to build these metas up properly.
Yeah, and the rewards for actually successfully doing the Battle in Tower meta event are pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
You get underneath the city, you get grand chests that will only spawn if you win the event, and you get more great exalted chests as well, which have a ton of cool stuff in it. I don't know what half the stuff is used for, but it looks cool. And it's ascended, so I'll take it.
So to answer I've never learned how to pronounce this, Arcays or Arcays. Arcays. Okay. It's he's Kent Benson, one of our writers. His question in chat is, my issue is what the hot zones will be like when new content comes along and everyone goes there. How will single players and tiny groups even complete the group content of the maps?
Yeah, that's a fair question.
If like these metas are really, really, really rewarding, which they are in the right circumstances, people will always be there to farm them. So I wouldn't worry about that. Like Silver Waste, not dead in the slightest.
No, not at all. Not even in these days where after Heart of Thorns has been out.
People are still in the Silver Waste because it still makes money hand over fist, and it's still the easiest way to make money while people still figure out the Heart of Thorns metas. Once the Heart of Thorns metas figure out, it'll slow down, but it'll never be empty because it's easier than them. And people who want to maybe chillax and do a face roll farm that'll get them some good money will still go to Silver Waste because it's so brain dead. So I wouldn't worry about these becoming inactive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Ajad says, Ajad, I'm so sorry. Feel free to tell me how to pronounce your name for the future. It says they're rewarding in this specific collections and achievement points to be had by doing them. I think that's a big thing. It's not just a meta event. There's other, there are collections, achievements, all that kind of thing to keep people coming back as well. It's honestly fun. Like, I find it fun. Like it's essentially like 4 different events. You can choose which one you go to complete. If you're bored of, say, going to the East Gate all the time, switch it up and go to South or West or something. And I like that it's challenging, because something that they do quite well is they give people a specific role. Like if you're in the Enchanted Armors, depending on what gate you're at, you have a specific role. Generally, you're there to knock away the Trigger Blossoms or deal with the floppers and alphas and all that kind of stuff. I love the word flopper. And yeah, it's really... I like it. I like having, not just being part of the Zerg, because if I'm doing that event, I will typically try and get in one of the Exalted Armors, because I feel like I can have a bit more of an impact.
Oh yeah, if you're at South and you can't get in an armor, you're like just dead weight on your group.
Well, you gotta have the knockbacks at South for sure.
Yeah. South
I
is the
found West
worst.
interesting. Yeah, South is a pain. I found West interesting with where you gotta transform into the little mushrooms. That's an interesting one, where kind of if you're in the armors, it's like you have a more... You're not directly responsible for it, but you still need to be there to be able to keep all the enemies away from you, because if you get hit while you're in the mushroom, you get transformed back again. Yeah.
So it's... Yeah, I do like it.
Harley says the gate where you drop bombs while gliding is really fun. I don't think I've done that one.
I think that's North, if I remember.
I haven't done it either. I've heard about it, but I haven't done it.
I think that was the first one I did.
I've done North, and I don't remember that. It might be East. I haven't done East.
I can't remember. It's one of them.
Yeah, it's fun though. Just jump in, basically.
Either I haven't done it, or I did do it and I just didn't realize that's what we were supposed to do, and so I just utterly failed at participating.
Right. Yeah.
Which could have happened. Like, this is a thing that's constantly happening to me as I learn.
I think that's the flip side of these events.
Eastgate. Okay.
If you don't know what you're doing, then you can, in some instances, if you're in an armor, you're more of a hindrance than a help, because you're using up that resource for someone that does know what they're doing. And I've definitely seen, every time we've done the event, there's been a lot of people that didn't know what they were doing. People had to explain it to them.
Which I just want to put out a PSA: don't start bitching at people in map chat for not knowing the mechanics yet. It's been a week, people.
Well, yeah.
You know?
I've turned my map chat off a lot just because of all the whining.
Yeah, and it's like, and these maps need the coordination, so you need to have map chat on, but it does no one any good if you're just there complaining that, people don't know this, it's been out a week. Well, it's a week! Give people some time. Anyway, that's my rant over.
Yeah. I know you've been going around map chat telling people, it's been a week!
I have. It's just been frustrating to just see all the fun suckers going in and try and bitch their way into whatever,
Yeah. So I know that one thing you wanted to bring up is, so the precursor to the Mordrum attacking is the mini-game challenges.
Yes.
So I know you questioned whether or not they were a good thing or not. So do you want to tell people why?
Aaron and I had a conversation about this a couple nights ago. I don't know. It just feels... I mean, I know that they're different. It's a different way to work in a different kind of gameplay into a meta chain. But I'm not sure that a mini game is... At least for me, it doesn't feel like a necessary thing to bring into a meta game or a meta event that it's all about, let's go in and kill things. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a violent person.
Well, I think it stems from the fact that probably the single biggest thing I like the most about Guild Wars 2, better than anything else in the entire game, is the combat. That's literally what's kept me playing the game all this time, is it has better combat than pretty much any other MMO I've ever played. and the combat system feels so good that I just like to go out and fight things in the game.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to do, gameplay wise. I don't want to go play soccer, okay, or football. Sorry, football.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to go bid on crap in an auction. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
I'm the complete opposite. I really like those little mini game events. I think it's a nice change of pace from having to fight everything all the time, because so if you do the full event from like doing the pylons and then having to defend her and all that, it's a nice change of pace to actually, and then they only last like 30 seconds to a minute per challenge. I think it's nice. I enjoyed them, and let's not forget they're actually useful. Like if you get one of those the really golden exalted armors, I think they have like double the hit points of a normal one. I think it's a nice way to deal with like giving them out to people, because I can't think of a better way than just killing stuff. Like, how do you decide who's the best at killing stuff unless you have ones like who kills the most things in like a minute or something?
I'm going to make a sports analogy here, so I'm sorry to both of you. But it's kind of like they've taken the idea of the All-Star game in baseball and said, okay, well, whoever wins, whichever league wins, we're going to give them home field advantage in the World Series, which is the end championship, Rowan. So it's, I mean, in that sense, it's an interesting way to bring in something new into the game. So I'm impressed by that idea of doing something innovative. But I don't know. I just want to kill things.
You're not impressed, are you?
I just want to kill things.
I just like that. I don't know. I just find them fun. I mean, the one issue I do have that I want to bring up is, so between when these events are happening and when the Mordrim attack, you've kind of got like a 10-minute period where you're just waiting around and not really doing anything. And if you're in one of those exalted armors, you cannot go AFK because you'll lose the armor. And if you're in a golden one, you can't get it back if you're in a golden one if you lose it. So it's like doubly important that you just kind of spend 10 minutes just aimlessly doing nothing. And if you wander off too far, your golden armor will disappear. You can't like go and do another event somewhere. So that's the one issue I think I have with it, is the waiting around isn't particularly engaging, just sitting there like spamming one for 10 minutes.
For me, it's just, I literally never grow tired of fighting in Guild Wars 2 because I love the combat system so much, and especially in Heart of Thorns with all the great enemy AI and all the different enemy battle tactics the new monsters use. I don't want to go to an auction.
I mean, that's the thing. I've definitely found it more engaging, the combat in Heart of Thorns. I really agree with that. Speaking of which, actually, have either of you tried, I know Sandra has, have you tried the action cam yet?
I have.
What did you think of it? I'd be quite interested.
It's good, and I can tell it's good, but I'm not using it currently just because I'm not used to it and I don't want to learn it. But I know if I learned it, it would be better. I'm being lazy right now and sticking to what I know.
Exactly.
The issue Sandra and I had was with ground targeted abilities were clunkier to use in action cam mode than the normal, I think, because you don't just have the mouse to like freely stick it wherever you want it. And
I'm so used to moving my mouse around for different things that to have that control the camera direction, and it was a bit disconcerting. So I need to learn it.
I really wanted to love the action cam, like I really, really did.
Yeah, me too.
But the ground targeting thing for me has kind of killed it. If I didn't have any ground targeted skills, I'd use it, but I can't think of a situation realistic where I won't have at least one like ground targeted skill that was relatively important I placed quite quickly.
See, and there's some people there's some people in chat saying, they love the action cam, and there's some people that can just switch their play style on dime like that, and it doesn't matter. I'm not one of those people. I'm really set into my current play style. I'm really comfortable with all the builds on all my characters with my current key bindings, and I can't just switch like that. Like, even if it's better, I'm too comfortable with what I'm doing now, and I'm good with that. And I don't want to switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, Arlie.
Don't raid with me.
Having controller support would be amazing, and I can see where action cam and a controller in Guild Wars 2 would make life better. So ArenaNet. I'm kidding. You guys have enough to do. But yeah, can you have?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'll probably play around with it a bit more once I've done all the other stuff. It's kind of like on my list of priorities. Of stuff to do.
It's kind of low.
But yeah, if it was, I can't really think of a way to fix the ground targeted issue with it either.
Well, Arlie says you can have ground targeted stuff snap to the feet of the target. I didn't know that. That's still annoying though, because sometimes I'm casting my ground target somewhere else than where my selected target is.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the dynamicness of the Guild Wars 2 combat. You can do different things in different places at once with skills like ground targeted abilities, and so that kind of one size fits all key binding doesn't really fit my play style.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
So another thing that I wanted to bring up, which is, oh my god, I've been like squeeing over for all of yesterday. So if you found New Scrittington in Auric Basin, you'll know exactly what I'm on about right now. It's so like until Heart of Thorns, I didn't particularly care about the Scrit that much. They were just like, yeah, they're there. But ever since I visited this place, I've just been like, oh my god, I need a Scrit in my life so badly. There's one in particular. I can't remember the name of the event or the actual name of the Scrit, and I don't want to try and.
I think it was Don Kruk or something.
Something like that. It's a little female Scrit that's carrying the head of one of the Exalted Sages.
That is morbid, sir.
And it's still alive. And they're kind of having this like back and forth. I don't know how it starts because I didn't get there.
I think that might be more morbid.
It's a really cute event. She's collecting saurian eggs to try and like appease the Exalted Head, I think. I didn't get there at the start of the event.
This is like a cult level. This is like a cult level activity right here.
It is. You honestly have to go and see
it.
It's
cute.
The actual Scrit itself is so adorable. I was like, I couldn't contain myself, and I never get like that about anything really. But this Scrit in particular, oh my god, I need it in my life, and it's just, it's so cute. I can't contain myself.
Yeah. But she spawns about. She goes back to. I don't know. I don't think it was their scratch, but she takes the head back, and then you've got to gather more things, and you end up getting attacked on all sides by different Mordrum waves, and then you've got to go to another place, and it was just a long chain, and it was fun. But she was really cute. Just her little conversation about maybe we shouldn't have such shiny things. At the end,
it's just so cute, and I think honestly, like the voice acting in Heart of Thorns is really getting a lot better.
Oh my god, I can gush about the voice acting so long.
It's been really good.
Mainly, the player character voice dialogue is in the personal story. Your character's dialogue in the cutscenes is just so deadpan and emotionless and just robotic, and. They brought the same voice actors back to do the voice work, and it's just better. Like, your character... Like, I'm playing on a male Sylvari, and my character sounds commanding in his role as the commander of the pact. The voice acting really delivers an air of command, and there's a section in one of the quests, I won't spoil anything, where your character's being kind of snarky, and the voice actor totally nails it on the male Sylvari, totally sounds snarky. And it was fantastic. So the voice acting is definitely a marked improvement from the personal story on the player character's part.
And I think that has a lot to do with just having better directing from the narrative team. I know that Leah Hoyer has mentioned that she went down to the recording studios down in Burbank when they had recording sessions, and just for somebody from the narrative team to be there and to help the actors find where they need to be to convey that emotion, you can tell it's shining through for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've loved Ritlock's voice acting in this. Every time Ritlock does that growl, I've been like, oh my god, he growled, Sandra. And then my female Char attempted a growl, and it wasn't as much of a growl as like a little. But
again, without spoiling anything, I have giant issues with Ritlock in this expansion, but it would be spoilers to talk about.
When we get onto the story-based episode in a few weeks' time, I'll let you tell me all your thoughts about Ritlock, and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Did Sandra tell you what I think? What annoys me about Ritlock?
I didn't.
She hasn't yet. We'll talk about it in a week or two, I guess. So, moving on then from Auric Basin and voice acting, something we're going to talk a little bit before we end the show is mastery leveling and how we're kind of feeling about it at the moment. Is it too grindy? Is it just right? And one thing I know that you, Sandra, had, I guess, an issue with was actually knowing when you'd completed leveling up your mastery.
Yes. And I've been saying this since, I think, the first beta weekend. It's like we don't get any kind of fanfare. There's no bouncing chest in the corner.
Some fireworks would help.
There's something, because when you level up, when you're leveling up from 1 to 80, you get a little thingy just jumping up and down, like to tell you, you've leveled up, yay, and that's fantastic. But when we're doing the masteries, we don't get any kind of indication. So you could be running around, as I have done, with your whole thing leveled up, and because you're so busy interacting with the world or fighting, you don't realize that your bar has filled up and that you can actually spend points and start a new line. Now, granted, it does keep your progress, so even if you don't notice it, it's, you don't get penalized for it, but...
Well, I mean, it's not very handy, though, if you wanted to level that level 1 level and then level into another mastery, because now all that XP has gone into the next tier of the one you were leveling. Of that line,
right, exactly.
So if you wanted to get to level 1 gliding, then switch to mushrooms, and you didn't notice, now you've got half your gliding thing full, glider tier 2 thing full, and you've got nothing in mushrooms when you could have been done. And it's part of the issue is that the end of the XP bar is overshrouded by a little graphic because their art style is their art style, and it really makes it hard to see just where that bar finishes out. But I agree with what Sandra's saying, is that some fireworks would really help. I know that kind of speaks to how lazy we are as MMO gamers, observancy wise, but
I don't know that I would say it's lazy. I just think it's because you're so focused in on the game. You're not looking down at your bar,
I'm looking at this beautiful map, I'm killing all these monsters, and you can't move 2 feet in Heart of Thorns without getting attacked by something. Like, there's no places to AFK. And you literally don't catch a break in the game, so you really need that just, boom, spend your mastery points box to pop up.
Ajat says it flashes a little when it's filled up, right? And I
haven't noticed.
Don't think so. I haven't noticed.
I mean, even if it does, it just goes to show, like, it's not noticeable.
It's not enough.
Yeah, I need something shinier. Something to make me notice it out of the corner of my eye, basically. Because that's whatever it's doing now is just not coming through.
Yeah, and the issue is, I know it happened to Joe as well. He was like, oh, I need a tiny bit more XP to fill this bar. And I was like, are you sure you haven't already leveled it? And he was like, oh, yeah, because there's like a tiny little gap. Like right
so
at the end. And you think, oh, I need a tiny bit more. And in reality, you don't.
I mean, I've taken to just mousing over, hovering over just to see if it, because it's not. Yes.
Did Sandra cut out for anyone else just there, or was that just me?
I lagged quite a bit. It might have been.
Oh.
Did you?
It might have been me.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to repeat what you just said?
I was saying that I've taken to hovering my mouse over the XP bar just so that the numbers will come up and I can see when I've actually finished, just because of that gap.
I think even just doing that, I think one thing would help is if on the hover over it shows you the percentage you're at as well, because the only way you can find out is if you actually go into the mastery UI and hover over it there. and especially if you try to like compare like a million and whatever XP to the actual filled one, it's like, wait, what? Is it full?
Yeah, is it full? Exactly.
But yeah. So aside from that, do you think the pacing of actually getting the masteries is right? Do you feel like it's grindy for you guys?
I think it frustrates me just enough to where it should be, because it should frustrate you at points. Like it should. It shouldn't ever. You shouldn't just be happy-go-lucky through the whole thing. You should get frustrated at points, because that'll compel you. The frustration will compel you. And when I'm doing my story and it's like get gliding level 2, I'm like, oh my god, okay. But once I get gliding level 2, I'm like, sweet, now I can do this story step. The story step's like freaking 4 minutes long.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm glad I just wasted all that time for a 4 minute
glad I spent 2 days mastery grinding to do that little story instance. Thanks. Yeah. But it's where it should be, I think. I think it's in a good spot. Just frustrate you just enough.
I found it good. I haven't felt like it's a grind yet. I probably will do, I imagine, in the next week or so. But I've been fortunate in that I seem to have leveled the right masteries for the story. So aside from the very first instance where you have to level gliding, apart from that, I haven't had any you need to do this to continue things. So I haven't been as frustrated as you have with that aspect.
Well, I've been going pretty hard on the story when I've gotten to play, so I do my story steps before anything else, and so I've hit the mastery wall every time, pretty much.
Yeah.
I will say though that I'm using my XP boosters again.
Yeah.
With my 80s, and that's something that I hadn't been doing because they're 80. What do they need XP for? You know what I mean? But now it's like, okay, make sure that you've got them. Make sure you've got enough.
I just popped a birthday booster.
Yeah,
God knows I have
birthday booster. I know, really. Those are just seemingly endless.
So if anyone's interested, there was a really useful guide on Reddit about for someone who's got, I think, 120 or something, is it? I can't quite remember mastery levels. 161, there we go, wow. So and it's basically just... That was my upgraded internet deciding it was no longer upgraded anymore.
So glad that we got that upgraded.
I know, we hyped your internet up so much.
So much.
I'll try and fix it for next week. What were we talking about? I've kind of...
Masteries.
Did we finish talking about masteries?
Do they feel... Does it feel too grindy? Does it feel like it's in a good place?
Oh, yeah.
I think it, like I said before, I think it should feel a little bit grindy. Just enough to kind of frustrate you and motivate you to push through it. Because I think, I mean, too much grindiness is obviously dumb, but a certain amount of grindiness does come with a feeling of accomplishment at the end, definitely.
Yeah. So I think, Sandy, you write this in. So to unlock all Heart of Thorns masteries, you'll need to earn 49.5 million XP, which is about 10 times the amount required to fully level an alt.
And that's from the PC Gamer review of Heart of Thorns, and that just kind of blew my mind.
So that's like basically leveling 10 alts then.
Yeah.
10 times the amount required to fully level an alt. So if you level 10 alts to max, you can unlock all the Heart of Thorns masteries.
I've done it already. You guys may not have, but...
Well, you've done it twice, haven't you? You've got 20 alts, haven't you?
But I've only got about 10 that are fully leveled.
I've leveled 8 characters to 80, one for each profession.
So
I've not quite done the 10.
So yeah, it's I guess one of those things we'll see how we feel in like a few weeks when we've like grinded, when we're like, oh, these masteries, I can't be grinding anymore.
Not gonna lie, I'm already there.
Yeah.